All right, let's dive into Anubhav, a really powerful short story by the legendary Indian writer Munshi Premchand. So the word Anubhav literally means experience. And this story is a deep, deep look at what happens when your own personal beliefs get put to the test by a world that's just full of fear and self-interest.
The story kicks off with this single, absolutely stunning moment of injustice. Our narrator is standing in a courtroom, and she watches as her husband is sentenced to a year of hard labor. And what was his big crime? He gave a cool drink to some nationalist volunteers on a hot day. That's it. But this moment doesn't break her. No, not at all. It actually ignites something inside her.
So we're going to follow her journey through 5 distinct parts. We'll start with her trial of conviction, see her come face to face with betrayal and fear, then find a totally unexpected safe haven, confront the ultimate test, and finally, witness the triumph of true character.
Okay, first up, this trial of conviction. Her entire world just gets turned completely upside down, but she doesn't feel despair. Instead, what she feels is this incredible surge of pride. In her eyes, her husband isn't a criminal. He's a hero. This injustice is the spark that changes everything for her. That very same evening, she does something she has never done before. She goes to a political meeting for the independence movement. And she doesn't just sit in the back either. She gets up on stage, she speaks, and she takes a public pledge of nonviolent resistance. Her personal tragedy has just become her political awakening. But this newfound fire, it's about to be seriously tested.
Yeah. So that patriotic fire is about to run headfirst into the cold, hard reality of the world. She turns to the very people she should be able to rely on the most, her own family.
She immediately sends out 2 telegrams asking for help. One goes to her own father, who's a well-placed official, and the other goes to her father-in-law, a government pensioner. She's all alone and she needs a place to stay. Surely, they're going to help her, right? Well, the replies she gets back are just devastating. And they expose this raw, ugly self-interest. Her father-in-law writes back saying he can't risk his government pension. And her own father? He says that taking her in might actually cost him a promotion he's been waiting for. Both men put their careers and their financial security ahead of their own family. It's just brutal.
And this is her bitter conclusion. She literally tears up their letters, realizing that the people she thought were closest to her are governed not by love or by duty, but by this powerful, gripping fear of losing what they have. This is a huge turning point in her experience.
So now, she's completely isolated in this empty house, and a new kind of fear starts to creep in. She notices 2 strange men hanging around outside, just watching her house. She knows they're government agents. Her fear isn't just for her life, it's for her honor. A woman alone is vulnerable in a way a man just isn't. And that night, she locks herself in her room and puts a large knife by her bedside, just in case.
Just when she hits rock bottom, feeling completely alone and terrified, there's a knock at the door. And this is where the story pivots, moving away from the failure of family and into the power of friendship.
At the door is her husband's friend, a school teacher named Gyan Babu, and with him is his wife. The narrator describes this woman, Deviji, as having the presence of a queen. She might not be conventionally beautiful, but she just radiates this aura of strength and authority that you can feel immediately.
The narrator, of course, tries to refuse their help, saying she'll be a burden. But Deviji just brushes all that aside with this warm, witty reply. She insists the narrator pack her things right now and come live with them, framing this huge act of kindness as just a simple, you host me, I host you kind of thing between friends. There is no pity here, only solidarity.
In Deviji's home, the narrator discovers a woman who is the absolute opposite of her fearful family. Deviji is endlessly hardworking, running the entire household herself with this constant good humor. She is compassionate but also tough, a true pillar of strength who seems to have just conquered worry and anger. She is, without a doubt, the moral center of this story.
But this newfound peace can't last. The outside world and all of its pressures are about to invade this little sanctuary of kindness.
A few days later, the narrator's heart just sinks. She sees those same 2 government agents loitering outside Deviji's house. The state's watchful, intimidating eye has followed her. Deviji just dismisses them as dogs that can only bark. But the narrator knows they can also bite. And pretty soon, they do bite. Gyan Babu comes home from his teaching job looking visibly shaken. His school's principal, acting on orders from the district magistrate, has confronted him.
The state has decided to squeeze the people who dared to show a little bit of kindness.
So Gyan Babu is given a choice: kick the wife of a political prisoner out of his house or be fired. This is the exact same test of character that the narrator's own family faced and failed. What is he going to do?
But before Gyan Babu can even waver, Devji delivers the verdict. Her moral clarity is just absolute and immediate. She tells her husband to go back, right then and there, tell the principal he will not abandon his guest, and if the principal refuses, to hand in his resignation on the spot. No hesitation, no fear, just pure, unwavering principle.
This heroic stand brings us to the story's resolution and to the true meaning of its title, Anubhav, or experience.
You see, Anubhav isn't just something that happens to you. It's the deep, lived-in knowledge you get from it. The narrator's Anubhav is the profound understanding she gains about human nature by witnessing both its greatest weakness and its greatest strength, all in the span of just a few weeks.
Her experience really does unfold in these 5 stages. First, there's the pride she feels in her husband's sacrifice. Then comes the sharp pain of being betrayed by her own family. That leads to the absolute terror of being isolated. But that's broken by the hope she finds in the selfless solidarity of Devji. And finally, she gets to witness the ultimate victory of human principle over pressure.
The next day, empowered by his wife, Gyan Babu does exactly what she said. He tells his principal he will not turn his guest out. And faced with someone who is willing to lose everything for their principles, the system blinks. The authorities, not knowing how to deal with that kind of integrity, just back down. Gyan Babu keeps his job.
And so, the story leaves us with this really profound question to think about. When does the kindness of strangers become more dependable than the duty of family? Anubhav suggests it's all about shared values and the courage to actually act on them. It asks us who we can truly count on, and maybe more importantly, what it takes to be the person that someone else can count on when everything is on the line.